do. Lower to the grave, tell you like it is to your face, she don't play. Every chick down for it all, know that she a boss. No competition, no loss. From the Midwest to the A, all them got you tuning in, no delay. Ooh, get you right every time. Keep you laughing on a dime. Tell you truth, no lies, so you can live your best life. Cover all topics, no limits. Got something for your mama and your children, no holding back. No gimmicks, coming on strong, get straight to business. Oh yeah.
What she wanna do?
Live life, live life,
She
live
do
life.
what she wanna do.
Live life, live life, live life.
What she wanna do.
Live life, live life,
She
live
do
life.
what she wanna do.
Live life, live life, live life. Live life, live life.
Hey, it's your girl Autumn, and I welcome you back to the Lit Life Podcast, where I encourage you to live your life autonomously. What's up, guys? Another week. Here the fuck I am. I guess this is one of the more consistent things in my life at this point. Sometimes I'll be like, why am I doing this? But I guess it's because it's kind of fun. I don't know. Anyways, welcome back. If this is your first time listening or watching the Lit Life Podcast, I appreciate you. I hope that you subscribe and go back and listen to other things and listen to some other projects I've been on. And I'll talk about some of that stuff a little bit later in the show. But so some updates. I guess I can give y'all a couple of updates if you've been following over the last few weeks. Here I go. I have to like kind of whisper again because I don't know who be listening. But so my neighbor, I told y'all my neighbor was selling her house because she has a stalker and she's like moving away, far away. And the house is still pending sale. Last week it was still it was pending, so it's been pending for like 2 weeks. But last week there were signs like on some of the adjacent streets that said she was having a garage sale. And there was no garage sale. Like there were so many people riding past, and I'm walking out the house, and people are like, "Hi, is there a sale over here?" I'm like, I don't know nothing about no sale, so I don't know. Maybe she meant this week. I don't know, but I haven't seen anything suspicious or heard anything suspicious or anything like that. So I keep y'all up to date, I guess, with the whole crazy ass scenario that's going on next door. But anyways, running for my life, I am literally running for my life at this point in the game. Got back on my horse again because you guys know I fall the fuck off every few weeks, it seems. It seems lately. But been trying to pull myself out of a little bit of a funk, and it's so wild. I know I say this all the time, and I'm sorry if I'm repetitive, but sometimes I'm a little repetitive about things that I'm passionate about. And sometimes I mean, not sometimes, like all the time, I really hate working out. I like to run, but I only really like to run when I'm running well. So right now it's kind of tough for me because I'm not, where I want to be. But I have to continuously remind myself, and I have to continuously remind myself to do things that will help me. And even if I don't like to do them, or like I really hate it, like exercise. I mean, like when I get up in the morning before work and I work out, I work out. Shout out to Greg. I'm one of Armad's angels. Have him on the show sometime soon probably after I cleared this series or whatever. But shout out to my trainer who sends me workouts virtually, every week. I get something new, But really shout out to him for being very caring and kicking my ass during these workouts, but also, how can I explain? Also understanding that I can be fragile at times, especially when it comes to just the anxiety that I have and things of that nature. So I reached out to him and I told him, I'm like, because what'll happen is what I've peeped is if he doesn't hear from me, or like I haven't sent him my workout times or something like that, he'll casually, text, or, hey, how's it going? What's going on? Or send me something that has to do with running or anything like that. It's very passive, and I enjoy that about him and this whole like trainer trainee thing that we have going on, because it's just his way of, to me, it's his way of saying, where you at? Like, we got goals, like, where are you? But he's not being obnoxious or like being like a lot of these people that we've been seeing on social media. I've talked about them in the past, that are just like, they want you to reach your goals for them and not for you. They get that. And I understand having some sort of gratification in seeing the results that you help create, but it's more about them than it is about you. And him knowing that I deal with anxiety, you know what I'm saying? I be up and down sometimes, with depression and things of that nature. It's very easy for me to talk to him and say, hey, this is what's been going on. I haven't worked out since this day, but here is my plan. Like, him checking in on me is kind of what is, helps me to be like, okay, you need to do whatever the fuck you need to do. But anyway, what I was trying to say in saying all of that is, although I hate it, it makes my day go by better. You know what I'm saying? I be tired. Don't get me wrong. Like, by about 2:00, I be ready to crash, because like all my adrenaline is gone. The coffee done wore off. Everything, I get tired at that time. But that also means that I'm gonna try to be in a bed at a certain hour, which helps with the whole cycle of everything, right? Everything with me starts with a good night's sleep. So I get a good night's sleep and I can pull myself out of bed at an hour that I don't want to get up, and have a halfway decent workout. Even if it's not even the greatest workout, I still feel good. So I need to start making myself like staying out of my fields, like I talked about many moons ago, and just start making myself do these things. Like, I can't wait for somebody to make me do these things. I don't really have like a one-on-one accountability partner or anything like that. And even if I did, there's still a lot of this has to come from me. So I would say I have to want to do it. And I have to want to have a good day. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have to want to see some sort of results as a result of me getting up early and working out. So anyways, I'm going to try my best to continue on this route, 3-4 days a week, during the week or whatever, and then just enjoying my weekends and doing whatever the fuck I want to do. So anyways, I'm good. Let's get it cracking. So I hope y'all actually could hear that this time, because I guess last week I was actually recording through the webcam mic again for like the second or third time I've made that mistake, but I did kind of check it before I got started. So hopefully it's all good. Anyways, this week I'm gonna keep it short and sweet and just tell Nancy Pelosi and them to shut the fuck up because nigga, we do not need to hear y'all trying to sing the Black National Anthem ever. Like, we don't want to hear this. I feel like they did this before. Was it last year for like during Black History Month or some shit when they did that kneeling with the kente on? Like, it's also very cringy, and we don't. These are not the things we need. So today, at the time, the day of this podcast recording, there was a bill signed making Juneteenth a national holiday. So they felt like, and I started to switch my word out this week and let it be Juneteenth, but there's so many other really great podcasts that are talking about Juneteenth and that have done way more research than I have on it. So I encourage you to listen to those. One especially is One Mic History. That one is great. So typically the episodes are pretty short, but it's a very, very informative podcast. But anyways, they signed Juneteenth into law, so it's now a federal holiday. And it's 2 days from now. It's on a Saturday this year. So the federal employees are going to be off of work tomorrow, which is Friday, and that's cool. I figure that most of like the corporate employment places probably won't put that into play this year, but the federal people are good with this. So anyways, these niggas decided they wanted to sing the Black National Anthem, lift every voice and sing, and it sounded horrible and pretty much straight to the point. I just need them to shut the fuck up because nobody asked for that. Nobody asked for any of this. It's cool that Juneteenth is finally a federal holiday or nationally recognized holiday, but what does that change? Don't get me wrong, I'm not even about to go on no tangent of being like hella upset about, whatever pertaining to Juneteenth. I'm not going to do it. All I'm going to say is it's not enough. I mean, I'm grateful for it. Good going forward, knowing that I have another extra holiday to take off and, chill and do whatever the fuck I want to do on that day. But it's not enough. So anyways, moving on. Let me take a sip of water. I got this Brita filter, y'all, girl. That was the best idea I've had in a while. So you saw the cover. You know that today's word is age. So I'm doing, if this is your first time listening, I'm doing a 10 words, 10 episodes series. I think this is like the 7th word. So I'm actually moving along a lot better than I thought I would. Some weeks it has been more hard than others. And I've also been trying to kind of keep these short. So I'm hoping I have a real bad scatterbrain today, like really, really bad. So I feel like I'm going to be all over the place, even though I wrote a lot of the shit down. But that's how I know I have a scatterbrain. So bear with me. Again, 10 words, 10 episodes. Sometimes people, I want people to look at this word and kind of have a little bit of an idea of what they think it's going to be about, the podcast is going to be about. And then when they listen, if it is, then it's a pleasant surprise. But if it's not, it's probably something so left. Like it probably just, they're probably listening like, that's not what I was expecting. And that's okay too. I typically don't know how the fuck the episode is going to go. So I'm going to just get into it. I'm 42 years old. And I'm realizing that, okay, I was born in 79. So I am like one of those people who are right in the middle or like right on the line or like the crossover of a Gen X and a millennial. Like, and it's so weird because like, I don't know, I think sometimes it kind of depends on like how like what happened in your household growing up, or like where you grew up, or you know, people who you grew up around, as to whether or not you would be considered or you would relate more with Gen X or being a millennial. I I identify as Gen X, and it's very, very easy for me to do so because my older sister, was 9 years older than me. So a lot of the things that I like, it's probably because of her. Like, when it comes to like music and even certain types of movies and just certain things that we like, certain types of fashion, things of that nature, I feel like I'm always going to relate to Gen X. But there's some things that there's at certain points I do feel um more on the millennial side, but it's always until I talk to like somebody that's like not on the line, that's a millennial, that's not on that line. So say for instance, like I said, I'm 42, so they could be like 35 or 30, I don't know, even like 38, like between like 35 and 38, let's say. There could be a huge difference in the way that I see things as opposed to how they see things. Say for instance, like fragrance, just off the top of my head, like fragrances. I stick with what I know. I'm not a big, y'all already know I'm basic bitch, right? I'm very, very basic when it comes to anything that has to do with fashion or beauty, makeup, all that shit. Like I carry Carmex. Like that's about the extent of things. I get my eyebrows done. That's about it. Like I just don't do anything other than that, partially because I'm lazy and I just don't. But when it comes to something like fragrances, like I would probably still, and y'all gonna laugh at me. Y'all gonna laugh at me. I don't care. Nope. Let me say this first. I I can have a fragrance like a perfume or cologne, or, you know, like a body spray or whatever, that I've had for years and years and years and still wear it. So like one of them is um I still have a bottle of Dark Kiss. I feel like they don't even sell it anymore. Uh Something in my damn throat. Ugh. My bad. From Bath and Body Works. It's a purple bottle, and I still love the way it smells. Like I don't wear it often at all, which is why I still have like 3/4 of a bottle left from many, many years ago. But I still like the way that it smells, and I still get compliments on how it smells. Like, and I'm just, you know, I'm gonna keep using it. But I know that there's people out there that'll be like, wow, that's like a very old smell. You know what I'm saying? It's like kind of like people who like your older, like grandmother or whoever who still wears like white diamonds or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm that person, right? I'm just like carrying these specific 2 or 3 scents. And it's not because I don't want to get any more perfume. It's just like I'm not really I'm not really into shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like to where I'm like, oh my God, I have to change this up. And it's funny because I just tweeted out, and I didn't even mean for that to run over to my podcast, but I just tweeted out how I don't know how people still keep up with all the trends. And I've never been that person, honestly. Like, when I really think about it, like, I've been very relaxed about trends as far as like clothing and things of that nature. What I've always noticed is everything comes back around, right? We know that history kind of repeats itself, but especially with these clothes, like, everything comes back around. I can remember saying, man, I used to I would wear some stretch pants, which everybody calls them leggings now. What we used to call leggings had the lace at the bottom. That's what we used to call leggings. Everything else was stretch pants. So I remember wearing stretch pants and big t-shirts when I was, I don't know, back in the very early 90s, actually late 80s. And then people stopped doing it. Like, I probably was still doing it, probably looking stupid to everybody. But because I can remember looking around it, or like just kind of thinking out loud, like, damn, nobody really wears this anymore. Maybe I, probably should try to figure out like what my style is. So anyways, I say all of that to say, at age 42, I'm still dealing kind of with the same shit. Like, it's not hard for me to let go, but I just do what works. And sometimes I know when I talk to, like, it shows when I talk to younger people, but it's like younger people who I relate to, who I can talk to all the time, or, you know what I'm saying? People I tweet with and all this, that, and the other. But every once in a while, something kind of age related we'll be talking about, or, will be tweeted out or whatever. And I just be like, damn, it makes low key makes me feel old. It makes me, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like a damn, bro, you kind of old. Like, I don't want to like this feeling. Like, I don't like that. Like, why do I feel like this? So, I mean, tell me if y'all can relate. Like, whoever listens to this, if y'all tweet about it or whatever, email me, whatever. How do you really feel about your age? And I know that that's like a kind of a silly question, but it's just like, how do you feel? Because I never thought that I would actually feel a way. Now, I'm happy to be where I am. I don't think I really would like to repeat anything, right? So like my 20s, I was, very explorative, kind of found myself a few different times in a few different ways, in a few different categories, like literally just kind of finding myself and life and understanding things. And I guess that's what your 20s is about, right? And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I was a non-traditional college student, so I was a couple of years older than everybody else. So I guess this is kind of a trend. Like, I've kind of always had some friends that were maybe a couple of years younger than me. But it like, especially in my 20s, it didn't seem like that big of a deal. It doesn't seem like that big of a deal now either. But you know what I'm saying? It's just, you see things differently, right? But anyways, back in my 20s, like, I don't think I really did. Like, age was not anything that I was ever really thought of. Like, oh man, I'm 25, I'm getting up there. Like, I never felt any of that. And then my 30s came along, and I kind of my 30s came along, and that's when I always talk about this relationship that I was in that kind of changed my life and kind of changed the way that I looked at relationships and helped me to understand my own worth. I feel like I came into my 30s and I had that experience and a couple of other experiences to follow, and it allowed me to really, like I said, find myself before in my 20s, but like for real, like like understand the ways that I really want to live. It just became like a decade of reflection. Like I literally just, I feel like I looked back on my 20s, and not even just my 20s, like my childhood. You know, I kind of re-examined my childhood during that time and tried to pinpoint things that may have happened to me in my childhood as to why I am the way that I am in certain instances, or why I like or dislike the things that I like. I mean, it was truly like my 30s it was like so many lessons learned about myself and life. And I still felt very young, you know what I mean? Like I still felt youthful. Again, not necessarily questioning age at all. I was fine. And then moved into my 40s and still growing, still learning. And this is where I kind of realized that like, I don't know, that thin line that I'm on as a Gen Xer, but it's like that very thin line that kind of crosses over to millennial things. Like there are things that millennials do that my grandmother, or even my sister, let's just say my sister, who again, like I said, is 9 years older than me, she's still Gen X, but like towards the beginning of Gen X. So it's like things that the differences in the way that these generations do things, and sometimes I like, you know, I question both sides. I'm right in the middle, so I question both sides. You know what I'm saying? But these are, I mean, these are things that it just kind of makes me think. But again, I still identify more with Gen X. Everything is nostalgia for me. Everything. Like I was saying, I was talking about the perfumes, styles of clothing. We were just talking about this in a group chat today. Like, what's the fuck is going on with people who make denim? Why does everything either have to be extreme high waist or low waist? Whatever happened to just regular jeans? Why does everything have to be skinny jeans? I don't understand that anymore. And why are all the jeans high waters? Like why are all the jeans well above the ankle? I've come to I let those grew on me. Like the above the ankle jeans, they've kind of grown on me. It just really depends on what shoe you wear. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to pair a decent shoe with it. But it's just like, can we just get a regular ass pair of jeans? You got mom jeans, you got all these fucking jeans. Can we just get a regular pair of jeans for a decent price? That's really all we asking for. It's just like going back to this damn Juneteenth shit, and all of the fucking Black Lives Matter shit and all of this. All we really want y'all to do is leave us the fuck alone. It's kind of the same thing. Like y'all are giving everything that we didn't ask for. Same thing with these fucking jeans, right? And I'll tell you one thing that hasn't changed is like plus size clothing, because it's still trash. Like, you know, I picked up a couple of pounds during the pandemic. I can still, you know, I'm still within a I'm a size 14. So it's like that right on the edge. I'm on the edge of everything, right? It's right on the edge of, regular and plus 12, 14, because that could be a large or extra large. It just depends on the store. So that's one thing that hasn't changed, is like a lot of this ugly ass plus size clothing. So that was random, but that's that. I want to go ahead and express my disinterest in that bullshit. But yeah. So, anyways, like I'm just, I just feel like I am right in the middle of things. Now, real quick before I get out of here, I want to talk about people who really and truly struggle with their age. I want to talk about this. Quick story. And I know if the girls in the group chat listening, they laughing already because they already know where I'm going with this. But I don't know if I told y'all I've been trying to date. I've been trying really, really hard. Okay. And decided to meet someone to go to dinner. His profile said he was 46. Now, that's another thing about age. Now, I used to have like this range of how I would date. Now, my last boyfriend, which I had in my 30s, he was a lot older than me. He was 17 years older than me, a lot. But at age 30, 31, so what did that make him? 41, 47. It was older, but I don't know if it just didn't feel that way. And it's not like he didn't look every bit of 47, because he did. But I don't know. I don't know what the fuck was going on there. But anyways, I've always dated older men, not that much older, not nearly that much older. As a matter of fact, I never would go really past like a 10-year mark, because that's a lot, depending on how old you are, right? So I wouldn't. It's like at age 20, dating someone that's 30. Like, are there any what's the? I wish y'all could see what I'm doing with my hands if you're not watching on YouTube. Like, what's the? I can't think of the word. Like, where's the compatibility there? Like, I just don't know what. Anyways, because I can go on about that forever and ever. Between 30 and 40, though, it's kind of different. It's a little different, right? When you go 40 to 50, again, if you're like me and you're kind of like on that line where the millennials are, so you like some shit that a lot of people that's 50 years old probably won't get into, or you're doing things that probably at 50, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think about these things. But anyway, so like I said, I was trying to date, and he said he was 46. And again, I'm 42, so that's only a few years. Even though I have my little thing, the little filter set on the dating app set for like 30. I told myself I was gonna, you know what I'm saying? Because before it was like you had to be at least 40. But I said I'm gonna try like around 38-ish, you know what I'm saying? So my filter just from 38 to 45. I don't know how this nigga popped in, but I said 46, all right, bet. And then we were talking on the phone, and he asked me how old I was. And I told him that I was 42. And he's like, are you serious? Like, you really, wow, like you look and for the record, I think I might have said this already. I don't know. But I feel like I look 42. I just don't think that I think people feel like I should like be like 42 is just like hella old, and it's not. But anyway, he's, I'm like, so how old are you? Because, he asked me, so I'm going to just ask him again, even though I knew what he said on his dating profile. I remember him saying he was 48. Okay. That's what he said he was 48. He told me, hold on. Let me just keep going with the story. So 48, right? Boom. Pull up. This man is clearly around 55 at the like earliest age. Like at the very least, he's 55. Listen, y'all, at the very least, he's 55. Okay. Off rip, we're not gonna have anything in common. We're not gonna have anything in common. Like, we're just not. We're just not. I mean, what are we gonna have in common? Nothing. Maybe some sports or some shit. But for real, like, I just don't. And this is just me. And I never really wanted to become this person, but it just really is what it is. Like, we're not going to. So, anyways, after this whole date situation happened, and maybe I'll come back and tell y'all about the whole fucking date later. And I get back to him and I'm tell him like, hey, I had a great time, which I did. The date to me actually went really well, but I, in talking to him and just trying to relate to shit, and I'm just like, we're just not compatible. This is just like, we're just not. And that's what I told him. And he literally acted like a whole fucking fool, a whole child about it. But one of the things that I brought up was like, well, you know what I'm saying? First of all, you lied. My very first impression of you was a lie because you said you were 46. And now you're telling, he was like, oh, I told you I was 50. Believe you said 48, but even 50 is a lie. So far as your profile is concerned. And me looking, and I didn't say this to him, but me looking at him, there's no way that you are only 50 years old. It's just not. It's just not. It's just not. So we have people who are really out here. It's just mind boggling to me that people are really out here lying about their age. Like, nobody is gonna know. Like, so say for instance, okay, you on a dating site, I'm about to get off here because I'm going on a rant, but say for instance, you're on a dating site, you tell somebody you're 40, you're really 47, y'all get together, they ain't said nothing about it, everything's cool, y'all dating, y'all doing it, y'all doing whatever, and y'all decide that y'all are gonna get, be exclusive. You don't think that they're ever gonna find out that you're 47 and not 40? Like, I think that's where the disconnect is for me. It's like, I know people lie and people get away with lies. Like, there are people who are great at lying, but to lie about your age while you're trying to like be with someone is just it's really, really stupid. Like, it really just doesn't make sense to me. So I think it's sad that people can't live with their age. You know what I mean? And so I used to work in a nursing home, so I've seen age progression. You know what I'm saying? And it is very scary sometimes to think about. You know what I mean? Like, what am I going to be like at 80? You know what I mean? Like, it's or even sometimes you just think like, wow, there really are people. I'm 42 years old and there really are people out here that thinks I'm like dirt, like I'm old as dirt, like, and that just doesn't I mean, it's like I care but I don't. It's just like, wow, really? Is that how you it just doesn't make any sense. But anyways, I'm rambling. I don't think I talked about everything that was in my notes in talking about age, but I think that I would just wrap things up by saying it's okay to be who you are. And I think that it's very, like I said earlier, it's very hard. It's tough to keep up with all of the different trends. Things are always going to change. So also, I'm in this weird phase too, real quick, y'all. I'm in this weird phase of like trying to figure out my sense of style at 42. So that's been weird too. You know what I'm saying? So like I don't know. So I guess that I've kind of been in a weird place as far as age, and not necessarily saying that I'm embarrassed by my age or anything like that. Like not that type of weird or that type of funny, but I'm just at a weird place. And I think sometimes as much as I live through all of the nostalgia, like every once in a while something new creeps in and I do enjoy it. Like whoever would have thought that I would really be feeling like Meg the Stallion's music, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm so very, very old school when it comes to music. But being on outlets, being on different social media outlets where I'm hearing this stuff, where I actually click the video or click the link so that I can hear it, and I hear it and I actually like it, it's just like, wow. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, damn, then it's like, I can enjoy that music too. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can enjoy those things. So anyway, I'm rambling, y'all. Let me shut the fuck up and play the shut the fuck up music for myself. Because that's all I really have this week. And I hope that you guys enjoy my word. Couple of more words left. We'll see what it do. We'll see how it shakes. If you're listening to this today, the day that this drops, know that Podcast Happy Hour is tomorrow on Juneteenth. 9, 8, 6 are the times for the time zones, PM. So 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it will be on Tamara to the Break of Dawn's podcast platform. You can subscribe to her channel, her YouTube, her Twitter, all that shit. It's in the show notes. So make sure you subscribe to everybody for Podcast Happy Hour. And it's going to be a fun time. We had 3 birthdays this month. So we'll be celebrating their birthdays. And yeah, it'll be a good time. So I hope that you guys have a chance to catch us live, because it's always so much better live. But if not, you'll be able to get to the YouTube playlist. I always add the newest episode each month to the playlist, and the playlist is on the Autumn the Aries YouTube platform. So that's also in the show notes. You ain't even got to go looking for it. So I guess that's it, y'all. So I guess I gotta go out here in this heat and go to the store, because I gotta get some liquor for our drinks, like, because we're making drinks tomorrow. So anyway, let me shut the fuck up. All right, until you hear me or see me again, peace.